Hi, friends. Welcome to the Plus Sides.
Put on the thing.
I am.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Food has definitely been a very dominant voice in my head. That's not the main focus anymore. Dieting, exercising, and adding GLP-1s through Ro is a game changer. I have such a sense of mental freedom since I started with Ro. Food no longer controls my thoughts. Family time used to revolve around food, and now it revolves around what we're going to go do together.
Dave.
I'm Dave Knapp, man on the Mounjaro. That's why I'm here.
Big news for semaglutide.
I'm the most elusive of all the doses. So I have a couple theories, and I'm interested to hear yours. The first, who likes my Karnak hat?
Jokes about terzepatide.
You are on the pen.
Hey, we got them all in. We got them all. welcome.
Hi.
Plus Sides Podcast Live. How's everybody doing? How you doing? Hey, Bear.
Hi.
Bear. How goes it? Oh,
It
I
goes.
noticed our little things are showing. Oh, that's because we moved it because we were doing another live. How do I fix
Things are showing.
our names and stuff, you know? Like
Oh, it's good. Yeah. It's okay. My name is... Hi, I'm Kat.
Hey, I'm Kim.
I'm Bear. That's
And Amanda, GLP-1 Glenda. I'm going to see if I can fix it while everybody talks. All right, y'all talk. I'm going to fix it.
We will talk.
Okay. Let's roundtable talk about how everybody's doing. Kat, who are you? Why are you here? What's up?
Oh, I'm here because I like Kim.
I'm also here because I like Kim.
Right.
I'm here because I'm married to Kim.
He's stuck with me legally.
Yep, I'm legally obligated.
Or illegally, you know.
Yeah, I mean, either or. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
She likes her the most.
I have cheese sticks here because protein goals. And Dixie, this one is like stalking me about it.
She's so precious.
I may have to kick her out because she's like,
No, you give her a piece of
she's
cheese.
being naughty.
That
She
is my
won't
little...
stop
She
with
said
this.
you got to pay the
John.
cheese. Got to pay the cheese tax.
Yeah,
The
it's the
cheese tax is all the cheese in the land for this one. She won't stop. I'll give her some. You know,
You
use
give
it.
my baby some cheese.
If you give a mouse a cookie, he's gonna want a glass of milk. It's like that, but with cheese.
Yeah, well,
You're
give it
awesome.
to her.
Oh, she's a cute little mascot. When we don't have the AT alien.
Where is the alien? I
Yeah, he's
haven't seen him in a
downstairs
while.
in my office. I've changed locations because the
think it's good.
acoustics are so much better up here.
Yes, for sure. The sound is much
My
better.
office is hardwood floor, so it's very echoey.
Quick thing. The podcast audio, not even the other things. Audio alone just reached 250,000 downloads.
We need a sound effect for that, John.
Yeah, John, get a sound effect. Not
Well, I
the
mean, I've got this one.
I like it.
What was that?
The Werewolf of London.
Werewolf of London from the 3 Olives commercial.
Sure. Okay.
How about We could play the whip. Like we whipped it, right?
Yeah, we whipped it.
Well, that's what we do when I get running off on
Oh.
a tangent. Right?
Listen, I've got like 5 buttons here that I can do sound effects with. I'll get some more on here, I promise.
We need
All right.
an applause button.
Well, we're gonna have the applause button. I'm gonna have the "You're My Boy Blue" button. I mean,
My boy Blue.
"You're My
Cute.
Boy Blue." Hey, that is one of the greatest movies of all time.
It's a pretty awesome movie.
It is. Between it and Idiocracy, I don't need anything else in my life.
I feel like Idiocracy is becoming
My
more and more like
goodness.
us today.
My husband is always talking about Idiocracy.
It is.
It's becoming real life.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
It is so awesome.
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh.
Ooh.
Carly. Hey.
Ooh. Oh, hot pink.
I like
Oh
that.
no, but it makes us bubbles.
Yeah.
Sorry. StreamYard has some new effects, and I got a little ADHD. Sorry. I'm back on it. If you're new here, hi. We have some new people. We've had a lot of people coming over from IG, which is great. That found my IG for stuff. And let me tell you why. Because I started doing things on IG and using ManyChat, and I'll say like comment podcast, and I'll send you a link, and then they find us, and they're like, hey, and I'm like, hey, so it's cool. So if you are new here, hi. This is the Plus Size Podcast. We are a podcast that focuses on people who basically live with the chronic disease of obesity or any other metabolic disorder and chronic conditions. And we talk about everything that is like being the healthiest you can be. Hey, Sandra. Hey. Oh, who else is here? Let's see who else. Oh my gosh, lots of people are here. Let's say hey to everybody. I'm out.
Yeah.
Holly's here.
It is the greatest movie.
Is it?
It is. Idiocracy is the greatest. I love it.
Oh, we have a new member, Mary.
Right. Thank you, Mary.
Yes, thank you, Mary.
Thank you so much for your membership. We're so glad to have you.
For whipping it, Mary. For whipping it.
We are.
Rip it real good. Go.
Hi, Carly. How are you? Beautiful. It's good to see you.
What? It is a great documentary, Sandra. You are correct, ma'am. She knows what she's talking about.
That's cool. I'm so glad to see you guys. Okay, so tonight we're gonna have a special guest.
I know, we're so excited
for our special guest because she's been with the podcast almost since I think the beginning. So I'm so excited. What is that?
That's my excited squeal.
I can do it.
Oh, hey, okay.
So I think we should invite her in. But before we do that, we didn't introduce Amanda. So like if you're new here and you don't know Amanda,
yeah, we gotta introduce Amanda and her Zen desk.
Yes, we need to know all about Amanda.
I'm just Amanda.
Amanda does. You're not just Amanda. You're Amanda of GLP-1 Collective. We're gonna
hello. Hi. I am Amanda from the GLP-1 Collective, which is a nonprofit dedicated to affordable access for GLP-1s. And we fight for affordable access. We support the community. We provide educational tools. And we also have a podcast where we tell community member stories.
I love it. Yes, you do. And you are doing all kinds of good stuff. Like ultimately, I think what all of us have come to kind of realize is that this is a huge problem. And what's sort of happened organically, if you don't know, is we all started this like summer of 2022 on TikTok. And discarded community, right? Like marginalized. We somehow organized and have created a vibrant community across all social media platforms with no leader. We all just do our part. Do you know what I mean? And it's a collective, right? And we won't get anywhere if we don't. So instead of being these little voices, we became big voices together. And so that's what we all do here, and we all help each other. And that's why you see us on each other's shows, because we are trying to. What was that, John? What was this? Pizza? What was this? Just fried chicken and pizza. How you doing? Yeah. So that's what we do here, and we're so glad to have you. I don't want to look at me anymore, though. Other people.
No, you're there.
Other people.
No, I'm sick.
We'll make Cat be the center stage. There we go.
Okay. It's fine.
Hey,
it's amazing. Like my hair matches, my earring match, and my eyeshadow. It all matches This little.
Yes, it does. It does. You don't have a purple shirt on though. We need to get you a purple shirt. The prince. There we go.
There it is. All right. Let's invite in our special guest. It's Spoonie.
Okay, let's put Spoonie over here.
Yeah, Spoonie's coming.
There we go.
Okay, now
Oh,
Spoonie.
sunshine
Rainbows.
Spoonie.
Now you are on mute. Do you know that?
You're on mute.
It's like a Zoom call.
Boom.
I think John's trying to unmute you, and you're
There we
trying to
go.
unmute you, and now we have. Hi.
Yeah.
So, like, I know we see each other, like, when you make content, but it's just so cool seeing you. Hi. We're so excited to have you, and of course, the Pokemon room.
Of course.
I like
I
it.
have to have happiness in my office because
I like it.
my work life is very stressful
agree.
and draining. I need some happiness around me.
Yeah. I like
Definitely.
it. I would love for you to take the space and tell your story. I'm so excited you're here. But I also think that if you could tell everybody what a Spoonie is, I feel like that's important. So, I
tell the story so often because I'm always wearing Spoonie gear. Like I have my no spoons, no Fs. I don't know if I use cusses here. Or the no spoon club. They're like, what is a spoon? What do you have to do with spoons?
Yeah.
So the spoon theory, I forget who created the spoon theory, but she was in a restaurant with a friend and trying to explain what life is like with a chronic illness. All she had were a bunch of spoons. So it's like, a person without a chronic illness has unlimited spoons to run on throughout the day, where a person with a chronic illness has 20 spoons.
Yeah.
Spoons represent energy. So getting up, that takes, let's say, 3 spoons, depending on the day. Showering, that could take 5 spoons. So you're already pretty much halfway through your spoons and you haven't even walked out the door yet. So sometimes you could be negative spoons for the day. Sometimes I definitely low on spoons today. It's been
low on spoons today. Oh no. Okay, I'll help.
Yeah,
I'll help.
It's been rough with the return to office. Number 47 is destroying everything. So
I understand. Well, what we will do is we're just going to give you the space, and we want to hear all about your story. Okay, nothing's off limits.
My story.
Absolutely nothing.
So I've always been overweight as long as I could remember. I mean, going back to elementary school, I was always the heaviest kid in class. I was the heaviest of my friends. My dad was a workaholic. My mom was overweight herself, morbidly obese, type 2 diabetic. We tried to eat healthy, but as a low-income family, it was kind of rough. I grew up on Kraft macaroni and cheese and tuna fish together. Don't judge. It's actually really good. Oscar Mayer cheese dogs, simple things, cheap things. So vegetables weren't big, in my diet growing up. I just started to discover Brussels sprouts and different vegetables recently in my 20s. So it's been interesting. I remember trying to lose weight with my mom using the Sweat Into the Oldies with Richard Simmons. Tybo, you guys were talking about Tybo earlier, and that just killed me. I'm just like, oh man, I remember the VHS tapes, Tybo, the Sweat Into the Oldies, but nothing really worked for me or my mother. All throughout high school, it just kept getting heavier and heavier. I was always picked on for my weight. I was always, like I said, I was usually always the fattest in the class. It was devastating. Around 18, 19, I was diagnosed with PCOS. They put me on metformin to help me try and lose weight. Nothing really worked. It just made me really sick. I couldn't handle the GI side effects. So I would go on metformin on, off to try and lose the weight. Fast track to like my late 20s, I was given Ozempic by my endocrinologist to help me try and lose the weight. They diagnosed me with fatty liver. Sorry, I'm a little foggy today. All of my lab work was always elevated. My inflammation levels, everything was sky high, and they couldn't figure out what to do with me. So, it's you're fat. Just lose the weight and you'll be better. Everything will be cured. So, tried Ozempic. I couldn't tolerate it. Like metformin, it just destroyed me. Every doctor I would go to, like, oh, your inflammation levels are really high. Okay, what do I do about it? Oh, I don't know. Okay, great, thanks. So go to doctor after doctor after doctor. I've seen every specialist under the sun. Until the one doctor finally shed some light on where I should go. Oh, you should see a rheumatologist, see if this is an autoimmune issue. It only took 5, 6, 7 years to be pointed in the right direction. So I finally go to the rheumatologist. They really couldn't help me with my weight, so they said go back to the endocrinologist after the failure with Ozempic. Like trying to get the timeline straight. I have been working nonstop this week and last week, so my brain is fried.
It's just us. It's family. You're fine.
It's just a crew. Yeah.
So, yeah, I go back to the endocrinologist. They put me back on metformin. Again, failed. Done. So I go back to the rheumatologist. I had a lymph node that had swollen up in my groin, which incredibly painful. Couldn't really walk, bend, and it just blew up overnight. So they sent me for an MRI. They see it's a lymph node. We weren't sure if it was a lymph node, so they confirmed it was a lymph node. We do a biopsy. Biopsy comes back unremarkable. They said, okay, we got to take it out. You can't walk. You're having too much difficulty. Let's just take it out. I went to 3 general surgeons. They're like, no, I'm not touching that. Finally, one says, you need a surgical oncologist. Like, I'm sorry, oncology? Cancer? Why? It's just a lymph node. It's not cancer. So fine. I find a surgical oncologist. He's like, I doubt this is the C word. I don't even want to say the C word. You're fine. Everything's fine. We're going to take that out and you'll be fine. 2 days later, he calls. And he said, I'm so sorry, but it is Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's all I can remember. I was actually teaching a class at work, so I had to put the class on hold. I remember I shut down my computer and I bawled my eyes out. Like, okay, so I'm guessing this was the cause of all my issues, and what do I do now? He said he was going to set me up with specialists to try and figure out what the next steps were. So at this point, I'm like 200 pounds, miserable, inflamed, no quality of life. So I meet with an oncologist. Didn't like that center because it was just like a patient factory. Just patients in and out, no personalized care. So I go to another oncologist that my manager at the time actually suggested. She had a similar case. She had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So she helped me get in with a different oncologist, New York Cancer of Blood. And they were amazing. A few months of treatment, and I had no evidence of disease.
Wow.
But I gained 50 pounds because during the treatment, even though it wasn't as brutal as some treatments, it did impact it. I had, like I said, very low quality of life. I ate garbage because I couldn't get up and cook. I was working while going through treatment, so I gained more weight. Finally, at 270 pounds, I was ready to give up. I was ready to unalive myself. I went to another endocrinologist. I'm like, I need to do something because I can't live like this anymore. And he's like, well, you've tried Ozempic. I'm not even going to look at metformin. I'm going to give you something else. It's called Zepbound. Okay, awesome. He said he would send the script. I knew nothing about it. I didn't know it was an injectable. All I knew is it was to help me lose the weight. So I go to the pharmacy and they had it, shockingly. They gave me this box. I'm like, what the hell is this? I go home, I open it up. I'm like, oh, okay, it's another injectable. What the hell do I do with this? So immediately I go online and I found you guys. I found Dave and binged everything. Like, I need to know everything I could do with this. I need to do with this medication. I didn't even tell my husband because he's iffy about pharmaceuticals. He did not want me taking it at all. He wanted me to do everything the healthy way, the natural way. But I've done that. I've white knuckled through every diet plan I could try. He had me do carnivore at one point, which I loved because I love bacon. I could eat bacon all day. It was awesome. Keto.
We have to say hallelujah for bacon real quick. Hallelujah, bacon's delicious. Hallelujah.
Like the Costco pre-made bacon, I get one of those every week. Just throw it in the microwave, snack. Protein. So, yeah, it took me about a month. It was sitting in the fridge for me to be able to talk to my husband about it. Like, listen, I need to do this. I know you're against it, but I'm going to unalive myself because I am miserable. I love you. I love our kitties. I love life, but I have no quality of life. I need this. I have tried everything. And he said, okay, do what you need to do. A month later, he's like, a lot of the influencers I listen to on YouTube, they're talking about it. And, people are now, able to have babies that have had infertility for forever. I guess it's pretty good. And it's been an amazing journey. I'm down 100 and what am I down now? I don't even know anymore. I've been gaining and losing the same 4 pounds for the past month. I'm down 107.2 pounds at 158 pounds from 100
the things to get the confetti.
There we go, confetti.
That's fantastic.
This is a small. Never been a small in my life.
Oh my gosh.
I've never been a large in elementary school.
It's for small. 28 fireworks.
Yes, there we go. Fireworks.
Fireworks too.
Isn't that fun?
But
at least we can use it for something,
I agree.
What's it been like with, I think that a lot of times where, when we talk about food noise, it's sort of a different experience for everybody when we realize it's not there anymore. But some people have said, I think even I've met that have been like, no, I never really had food noise or my food noise never went away completely. Like it's kind of different for everyone. Did you have any kind of experience with that?
I had no idea what food noise was until months in. And it's like, I'm not going for a soda every 5 seconds. I would drink 6 or 7 cans of soda a day, full sugar. Plus, I have my sugar-free Red Bull. I allow myself the 1 or 2 on bad days. Sugar-free. but I would have 2 16-ounce full sugar Red Bulls.
Yeah.
It was insane. And the snacks. I had a cupboard for just snacks. Working from home, all I would do was sit here at this desk and eat. I would binge all day long because I was bored.
Yeah. And you're stressed too, probably.
Yeah.
And stress. It's just.
I am team new job for Spoonie at this point, but I'm just saying, but it's very stressful. And so like in terms of where you want to be, I mean, you talk about like being in a size small, you know, we've talked a lot with the doctors about sort of like regain and losing and kind of bouncing up and down with pounds. And they've all said that it's very normal. Do you think that you would go or are you like on a maintenance dose for this? Or do you have like, I'm wondering, I always want to understand people's goals because I think that they're kind of different. Some people do want to get off and some people want to try other things.
I haven't decided yet. Like I'm on 10 milligrams now, but the food noise is so strong right now. And
I get it.
I've been binging this. Yeah. I had to return to the office 3 weeks ago. Yeah. I've been home for 5 years.
Yeah.
And like I've become completely feral. Going to the office has been the worst. Because, oh, hey, you want to get Chinese today? Heck, I don't want to get Chinese. No, get Chinese. Jersey Mike's? Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Oh, it's been so bad.
Yeah, so bad. I get it.
But I'm probably going to move up to 12.5. I still have 40-ish pounds to go. I mean, I'm happy where I am. If I don't lose another pound, if I just maintain, I'm okay with this. Yeah. Would I like to lose another 30 to 40? Sure, cool. Yeah. It'd be nice to be, you know, a normal BMI. Not that I really believe in that, but just to
right.
Just to
I think we have too. Still would be nice though.
And my inflammation levels are still coming down. I mean, I went from I had to reset my phone to factory settings. I lost so much stuff, but
oh no,
my CRP and my ESR levels, my inflammation levels went from like 40 to 18. They're still elevated, but I mean less than half.
Yeah,
I feel like a human again.
Yeah,
I can walk around my house without being out of breath, and
it's huge.
I'm human. I was not.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the heck I was before this.
Yeah, I know. It's weird to look back, right? Do you ever see like videos that you made of yourself or pictures that you took of yourself from before? And like because when I do it, I think like I still like love who I was, but when I see who I was, I feel so sad that she was sick. And I feel so sad that she blamed herself. Do you know what I mean? And that she talked so poorly about herself because she didn't understand that she had a disease, you know? And that inflammation thing, that was big for me too, girl. I get it.
I never took videos or pictures. I was never in pictures because I didn't want to see myself.
I get it. Yeah.
But I have a lot of face pics now, and I'm looking at it like, oh my God, my face was so big. Look at it now.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to see those pictures.
Yeah.
To see where I was and where I am now. Like, you know, not being in the office for 5 years, I haven't seen people. It's so long, and they don't even recognize me.
Yeah.
I have a different name, a different face.
Yeah.
It's like they're doing double takes. Like, wait, do I know you? I'm like,
which I feel like was opposite when people came back from like COVID, right? Because so many people gained weight, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like when then people started going back in the office. I feel like that's sort of people say all the time, and even the doctors would say once people started coming back in. I remember we had Dr. Leon. She was like, you know, she's a cardiologist, and she said that, you know, for a long time she would have people, you know, that wouldn't come because of COVID, and they saw people digitally, or they didn't see people at all. And then they walked into her office and she could see the weight gain, and it hurt her so bad. And that's why she wanted to start her business, right? Is like to be able to help people, you know. I think it's interesting because like we I don't think we realize how different we do look, right? When we lose, not just the weight, not just the pounds, but the inflammation, right? And then like, in terms of, you chronic diseases. Like we know obesity is one. And I think that we have a lot of people in our community that struggle with other autoimmunes. Do you have one? I wasn't sure if you wanted to tell us that or not.
I have rheumatoid arthritis, Sjogren's, POTS, which has been exacerbated. I got COVID for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah. I had it for Christmas one year. I did.
There we go, Spoonie.
I got it one Christmas. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yep. I get it.
That was good.
Happy holidays. Here's COVID.
Yeah.
My lymphoma is unfortunately most likely back.
No.
I have a PET scan this Friday and follow up with my oncologist next Friday. I have my lymph nodes here are swollen. I had trouble swallowing like 2 weeks ago, and it's just like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
So I feel it's like, oh, I know what those are. Night sweats are back. The itchiness is back. So, and I don't know why I'm starting to cry because I came to terms. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to knock it out just like I did the first time.
Yes, you are.
It's just like everything hitting me all at once this month.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm still healthier than I've ever been. Even if, with my cancer being back, like I'm still healthier.
Yeah.
And nobody can take that away from me.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I a lot of this is mindset, and I'm never going to tell you how to feel. But like, I think thinking that way, just like you said, like, you know what it is, they know how to fix it, and we're going to do it, and you're going to do it, And
you're
I
in
think
a much better shape, condition, everything. Yeah.
Is it possible for these things to flare up and for it not to be cancerous? Because I don't know much about it. Yeah.
But all the signs are there.
Okay.
So I'm mentally prepared for that conversation.
Well, we are here for you. You know that. We're here for you. Yes. I know you have a lot of, you're out of spoons today. So for you coming and taking the time to share your story with us, I appreciate it. And I'm so excited to have you here. We're going to talk about things in the news and GLP-1T if you want to hang out. But if you're low energy and you need to go, you just go. You don't have to say anything, and everybody will understand. Okay? Okay. All right. And just be like, it's cool. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. What an incredible story. Everybody, please follow Spoonie. I think I follow you on YouTube too, but I know I follow you on TikTok. So we're going to put that in the show notes after the show. Okay. So everybody can go and follow
Spoonie. You want to know
something? Support her, because I think what we need to remember too, and this is something that I've been talking about a lot lately, is that we all have a chronic disease. I know we like to think that this medicine fixes it and it's done and it's cured and all the things, and hallelujah. And we are GLP-1 evangelists and we think they're amazing. But ultimately, we're all going to go through ups and downs in our life, and much of it is going to be the underpinning of this disease. So we have to support each other and be there for each other. And it's easy to lose sight of that. I for sure have lost sight of that several times, but I'm trying to keep that in the forefront so that I'm there to support us all as we learn and continue to grow and hopefully heal, Boy, that was a lot. Thank you so much.
I feel like I need to mention Spoonie. There is this game that Kim and her crew play called Spoons. And it made me think of you. And it becomes violent. I'll send you footage and you will laugh. And it's
Did you make a video of it?
I did. Oh wow, yeah. They get violent. They fight over plastic spoons.
It's called Spoons.
So
I win.
Nobody gets violent. It is.
I get a little.
It's an aggressive, full contact sport.
It's right up there with, if you have ever played Phase 10. It's like that.
If you run out of spoons, just think of Kim cursing at her friend Joanna, slapping people around to get to her spoon.
I threw somebody underneath the table.
I'm like 80% sunshine and rainbows, but I'm a solid 20% like that heart, like before it like breaks, with the Grinch, like, that's the part. So, and that part comes out in spoons, So
I'm throwing spoons at my people at work.
Okay, good. You throwing
It's funny
spoons?
because
That's
we got
amazing.
an email.
aggression.
Yeah, we got an email that said a fork in the road.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a
like,
spoon in the
no
road.
forks, only spoons. And then everybody kept talking about it. I'm like, guys, I need to get to work. So I started throwing spoons over my office walls, my cubicle walls.
Listen, it's a
I
thing.
wish I could have seen that. Yeah.
And what's also cool about spoons is you don't have to have a lot of money to play it.
Nope.
Like you just need spoons. And you know, people that are as into being weird game people as you are. So
I tried to play for maybe about 10 minutes and I was like, oh no, you guys.
and she was like, this is a spectator sport.
I had to sit down and watch, and it was just it was hilarious.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
It'll make you
Nah, Kat, you need to be there for all of us plus Emma and Ben playing spoons.
I was there when Emma and
I
Ben
was
played.
there for that one. You were there too.
I was there.
She
I don't
was
think
doing
you
it.
were there. It was
Yeah, I don't think she was there that night that me and
Oh,
Emma
it was
really
Joanna's
got
Oh,
into.
when Emma jumped over your head. All right, we're good. We're derailing. Okay.
Yeah, we are.
Back to the
We're
show.
falling back.
Back to the studio. Okay. Let's talk about what's been going on in the news with GLP-1, because let's face it, it's always something. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Regardless, one thing I'll say is the one thing I've learned in this crazy world, as long as they're talking about you, that's positive. So, what was that?
That Werewolf of London song.
Oh, gosh. That's right. All right. Crack the whip on me. Let's invite Amanda in from the GLP-1 Collective to tell us about what's going on in the news with GLP-1. We have to play our thing.
Do we want to throw the beans? Yeah, throw the beans.
Oh, yeah,
out
we got to
there.
do beans. Yeah, we got to do beans, and we got to do.
Yes, I'm
Amanda's-
sorry. I was just so in the yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
Also, row beans. Row beans.
I just was looking. I was like, wait a minute. There goes her plate.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
I forgot we got to put in Ro's new Zepbound commercial.
All right.
Yeah, we need to add that.
Oh, you need the 30-second one?
It's okay. What we'll do? Yeah, we don't have that one.
All right, hold on a second.
It's okay. Well,
we got one. We got it. Okay. Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. Oh, yeah, you know.
Snap. I'm excited about this. A new row spot.
Oh, yeah, a new row spot.
I'm sorry.
Because Zepbound Miles. Yay! Quick, while we're waiting and everybody's getting situated, I'll just do my quick readout where I look like a ghost. Today's episode is brought to you by the Ro Body Program. If you've been following along on my GLP-1 journey, you know that managing weight and metabolic health is a huge part of what I advocate for. Ro's approach combines GLP-1 medications and then personalized support, giving you a tailored solution to help you take control of your health. And it's more than just weight loss. It's about finding the balance and the support that you need for long-term sustainable change. If you're ready to take the step, you can go over to ro.co/+sides with a Z and see how Ro can support your journey. That's ro.co/+sides. I'll link it here in the show notes. You're not alone. It's not your fault. Okay, back to news. Yay!
I appear. I went nowhere.
We need, you know what? We need a GLP-1 collective one. Every time I hear GLP-1 collective, I think of salon selectives, which you probably don't know. But like where it goes, and I think GLP-1 collective. I don't know. Like that's
Salon
what I think.
Glow. Yeah,
salon style. Salon beautiful. I just can see Amanda just like, you know, with her eyes and all things. I think just like
Okay.
you stepped out of a salon. That's the song. That's what we need. But it's GLP-1 collective. I don't know.
I like that. Maybe I'll change the podcast music.
No, that's a good
We
sound
have a
bite.
nice little jingle. I like it. We don't have anything with that. We need to get there. Oh, okay. All right. Wrap it up, Kim. All right, Amanda. Enough of me. Tell me about the tea.
Okay, I think that everyone probably is aware, and if you're not, then you should be, that tirzepatide is no longer, at least exact copies can no longer be made, not legally, as of March 19th. So this just happened. Compound tirzepatide is no longer available except in the specialized form that is specialized dosing for specific people, and it's not supposed to be done at a large scale. So we're waiting to see how this plays out because some compound pharmacies are definitely trying to do this on a large scale in order to keep prescribing their patients this compound version. Semaglutide is going next. The final date for local pharmacies is April 22nd, and for outsourcing facilities is May 22nd. So we're about to lose affordable access in general for a lot of people. And yes, Eli Lilly brought their cash price down to $4.99, but it's still too much for a lot of people. $500 is a lot a month. So what really irritated me, what got my goat this weekend, was this letter that the OFA set, or the OFA, the Obesity Action Coalition, the OAC, they sent a letter to the FDA that had several other organizations' signatures on it, asking the FDA to shut down compounding on the dates that they provide, but to shut it down and to stop people from giving out false information about compounds being safe, and to tighten restrictions so that they're like, really want us to be cracking the whip on these compound pharmacies and these compound versions. But here's the thing that is so upsetting. If you check their website, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk are platinum sponsors, which means that they each pay the Obesity Action Coalition over $100,000 a year. And that's just like the base limit. I have no idea how far that goes, but I'm looking into it, and all of these organizations that have signed it have financial ties to Big Pharma in some way. So that was very irritating for me because they're nonprofits and they should be about the people who are losing access. Let's talk about that first.
Let's do.
Before I move on to the next thing.
Yeah. I'm so disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, I think that when it comes to compound, it's essential, right? And for people that don't follow, I can't believe you wouldn't follow Dave, but if you don't follow Dave, so it's on the pen, you need to make sure you're following him. He is for sure one of the, if not the authority, I think, in my opinion, like on news on this subject. We get a lot of our news and stuff from Dave. He is our correspondent and unofficial. Actually, I asked him one time, can I say you're my correspondent? He's like, sure. So, but in terms of the way this works, is there really is the only other path, right? Is that people are going to go the research grade peptide route, which is way less regulation at all, because ultimately people have decided that there is a certain level of health they are not willing to get to give up. And more people are aware that there's a disease and that these things are options now, and they will do it. I'm not any better. I can't say that I wouldn't. Yeah, I can't. Like, if I didn't have access, I can't say that I wouldn't. It feels awful. And it's not because of the weight, right? It's because it's disease. It's because it's a chronic inflammatory condition. It's because it affects every organ in your body. It's because it puts you at risk for additional significant risk for 13 different kinds of cancer. Sick people need medicine. And so if you put people in a corner, they're going to make uninformed or frankly stupid decisions. And I'm not any better. And then any better. And I think that what's going to happen if this viable resource, right, goes away, which is primarily, it is regulated well, right, when it comes to 503A and 503B, especially 503B. And if that goes away, then people will go the other route. People won't just stop. That's not,
No.
the cat's out the bag. Like, we already know people understand it's a disease and they understand this is how you treat it. And the thing is what we have to remember is that when people have obesity, and I know some people think this is dramatic, but it's not. We are dying, and we're all dying, right? But ultimately, it's killing us. Like, sometimes some slowly, some fast. But this all leads to all of these other things that I'm talking about, right? And so people are like, well, if I only have one life, and I know right now, like Spoonie was saying, her quality of life was so poor. Do you really think that when people are like, hey, I can pay $100 or $200 or whatever and be able to try something that's research created that's probably okay, which is what the narrative is, right? We don't know that it's probably okay. We don't know that, right? So if that happens, if you don't think people are going to go that direction, they are. And so that's my concern. And I think something that was really interesting is a video that I saw you make recently. It may have been 2 videos, Amanda, but it was about sort of like, we're looking for precedent, right? Have there been times before, right, where we went a different direction and it didn't have anything to do with the patent, right? Like, where price and, accessibility was a huge concern. And the answer is you did find something. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Heck yeah, I can.
Oh, yeah.
I love this. I've actually known about this from the very beginning of my journey because a reporter for Politico interviewed me when I first put out that petition. We got 1,000 signatures in 1 week. And she said, "Do you know about McKenna?" And I said, "No, I don't know what that is." And she's like, "It's the only other drug that was compounded, like widespread compounded for affordability issues." And I was like, huh, that sounds like something I need to learn about. So it's been months now, and I've looked it up and I've mentioned it here and there, but no one really said anything until now. And I think that there's so much interest because we are actually losing access. So people now are like, okay, what can we do? And I am trying to connect the dots and make a chart for comparing all of these different instances. For example, McKenna, it was a medication that was supposed to prevent preterm birth in pregnant women. It was approved by the FDA in 2011 and 2011 or 2013. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I remember
12
I heard
years
this on
ago.
Dave's interview this morning. So it's the same. Yes, it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, thank you. It was 12 years ago that it was approved and something like that.
Yeah,
It was so expensive. Thank you. It was $1,500
a month.
A month. Well, a shot, and it was
a shot.
Yeah, it was $25,000 for a full pregnancy. And because of that, the FDA was like, "Hey, these women need their medication, so let's just let them have generics." And those generics were so inexpensive. I mean, like $20. They were so expensive. They were under 50. It's just crazy the difference. And they let them do it only because it was so expensive. And they let them have these compound versions for 12 years. For 12 years.
12 years.
Yes, 12 years. It just drives me crazy because they weren't worried about these pregnant women having medication that was unsafe, that was compounded.
And they were pregnant.
They had babies in their bellies and they didn't care, but they're worried about people with obesity. I don't think so. And it finally was no longer FDA approved in 2023 because it was not effective. They had found after 12 years, it didn't actually work. So they did not remove their approval because it was dangerous. They removed their approval because the brand name didn't work. And still, if pregnant women or their doctors requested this medication, they were allowed to have the compound version.
Wow.
It didn't matter that it wasn't even effective, but they let pregnant women have this compound version if they wanted it because it was expensive. So that is very upsetting.
Yes.
And clearly a double standard.
Clearly.
But as I'm digging into this, people are bringing up the EpiPen, which is a similar case. It's very similar. It was way too expensive. So the FDA not only allowed compounding, in this case, there was a shortage and it was expensive. So McKenna, no shortage, just expensive. They allowed compounding, but they also fast-tracked generics. They made generics while there was still an active patent.
Wow.
Because it was so expensive and people needed their medication.
Yes.
And these are not the only two cases, but they're the only two that I've like deep dived into. So, like I said, I'm trying to build a chart to compare them all, but they're like you've brought up before.
Precedent, right? Like that's I mean, that's something. Like I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I mean, that's a big deal, right? Like sometimes we can set some things aside and look at this with a different lens, right? And shown that it's been done. I think people do have hope. Like I didn't have any hope until I heard that from you, to be honest with you. Like I'm like, no, like because laws and patents and legals and no, like we, I think that the idea and we had Scott from is it Bruner? I always say his name wrong.
Bruner.
Yes, I said it right. Woo! And he was from is it the Alliance for Compound Pharmacy or Pharmacy for Compound Alliance? I don't know. I always mess that up.
I believe it's the Alliance.
Sure. But he was on our show and I was like, okay, so when can compounding be allowed? And he said, listen, ultimately a custom dose for someone, for example, say you take 2.5, it doesn't work for you, and 5 milligrams is too much for you. A doctor can prescribe you 2.5, and that will be a perfect use for compound, right? So the whole custom dose piece. And then not necessarily, I don't think with custom formulation, I feel like if y'all have heard anything different, I haven't. But definitely in terms of the dose, and that's a perfect place for compound. And that's where compound has always kind of belonged, right? And I think what we'll see now, though, is that there are a lot of people that are on compound. And what will it be when all of a sudden everybody needs a custom dose, right? What will that mean? And do they want to fight that battle to where they're digging in and being like questioning the doctors, right? The clinicians or the prescribing clinician, like where they're going to say, oh, I'm not sure if this makes sense or not, right? Do you really want to do that? Do we want to do that? But it may be like, I don't know how that will work. And I think that in terms of, retaliation. So if certain, and this is what we're waiting to see, right? If certain compound or pharmacies are like, you know what, we'll take it on, right? We'll continue to compound, whether it's exact copies or it's custom doses or it's custom formulations, knowing that they're opening themselves up from a legal perspective, we'll continue to take it on. And then I think there are other ones that are like, no, we won't. And I think we're still not sure who all that is yet, I think, Mochi's been very open that they are going to continue custom doses, right? That's the only one that I like super know of that are like one of the big ones. Obviously,
legally they can.
Their compound pharmacies has closed that they use, and they're using another one now. But that's what we've sort of heard, and I think that happens sometimes. If
there's anybody on the live who's with another, like say there's other telehealth that's still doing that, let us know.
Yeah,
definitely chime in.
Yeah,
I want to say too, KB Pharmaceuticals did file a complaint over McKenna with the FDA, and they tried to send cease and desist letters to compound pharmacies, and it didn't matter.
Wow.
The FDA turned a blind eye to it. Didn't matter. They didn't care. So it's a lot of the same stuff happening, but they didn't have coalitions with organizations sending signed letters to the FDA urging them to stop compounding.
Right. And of all people, it's Obesity Action Coalition.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like it's hard. I think, and I feel like some organizations are rocking a hard place. And I think that's exactly why we need what we do, what Dave does, and what Amanda's doing, right? To solve for that gap, because it's not black and white, right? And ultimately, many things that we talk about in this world, we think, yes, no, right, wrong, black, white, right? But ultimately, there is a lot of gray, and kind of compounding is that gray. So, and it's because they're sort of lumping all compounding in, right, together, when we know that there are compound pharmacies that are regulated by the state, that are regulated by the FDA, and they have a tremendous amount of things that they have to do. And if they don't do those, as we have seen, they get closed. They lose rights to be able to make it. And that's not a bad thing. Like it's been that we find it and we catch it and we stop it. That's
Yeah.
what we want. Right. And that's why the oversight is important, because if not, again, what are people going to do? They're going to take the risk. They're going to go research grade. They're going to go peptides online. People will continue to take this medication as if it is a supplement when it is not. Right. These are treatments for serious diseases and disorders. And that's very important. I am all about people choosing what they want to do with their body. I really am. But I think that they deserve to have all of the information available to them. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we know this medication is different. Like it crosses the blood-brain barrier. It is a very, like, it's while it's not new in terms of science, it also kind of is, right? Like 20 years or 20, even 30 years, if we think about it, like of data on these, we still are learning the other things that they do. We're still doing studies and finding out they treat other things, right? So I think that if people are just taking it like it's any other peptide, like I'm okay with that as long as they know what they're doing, right? As long as they've listened to Dave and they've listened to me and they've listened to everyone here, right? As long as they've been like, all right, I know this and I have all the information available and this is the decision that I'm making to do it, I'm okay with it. So I don't want anybody to think that I think that I am any better than you, because I am not. I am not. But I want you to have all of the information. But I think that the problem is that for Obesity Action Coalition, they represent the white, right? And so they have to stay here, right here. And that's with the drug manufacturers, and that's with everything that is safe, as opposed to, all right, we can examine the gray, because the gray is harder to define and it's harder to get behind, because once you get behind gray and the gray goes south, I know that's like speaking very figuratively.
Muddy waters.
Yeah, that's a lot of muddy waters that a lot of brands don't want to be associated with. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I think that's what it is, you know? But luckily, we have Obesity Action Coalition, which is why you should go follow them right now. They're going to be linked in the show notes to continue to support and follow Amanda on all the pages in the land, which we will again put here. Okay.
And this is how come the
next.
Hold on. Oh. We all need to go to Washington in October.
That's right. We'll get there.
Picket this and to make our voices heard, because Amanda is going to get all the signatures in the land. We're going to print it all out on a very nice official looking piece of parchment like paper. We're going to take it and we're going to nail it to the help committee chairman's door.
Ooh, we're going to nail things.
Yep. Nail it to the door. That way
he can decide what we put on doors.
No, I get to decide this.
Don't make me fire.
Yeah. I wonder.
You know what? It's been a while. Bear's fire. There we go. Woo! Oh, he's back.
Bear got rehired.
Yeah, rehired. He's a rehire. He's furloughed.
Okay, all right. I'll go home. See.
I wonder if
Spoonie, you're here. I thought you would defend me.
Oh no.
No,
she's not defending me at all. It's just wow.
But it is important. And how many signatures do you have now, Amanda?
27K.
27,000 signatures. This is huge. Go sign it. Go sign it. What are you waiting for? It's easy. Go do it. All right.
Yeah, literally took me 30 seconds.
So we go to glp1collective.com, right? Or is it .org?
Either one.
Either one. Okay. Oh, here we go. We got some information. Lavender Sky.
Oh, thank you.
Still has partner pharmacies offering custom doses. Okay. Formulation. Empower Pharmacies, tirzepatide. Okay. Yep.
Thank you, DJ.
Thank you. We appreciate you. I know as of right now, business as usual for Roe, I think for semaglutide, and business as usual for another telehealth called Emerge Weight that I'm associated with, and I like them a lot. And they're using 503B pharmacies as well. And Empower, I think, is the one. So right now, it's business as usual until things change. So if you need to go that route, it is an option. Okay. And we have all the links and all the land. All right. Next T.
So you caught me off guard.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm looking at LSH. I'm looking at DJ's comment. LSH is also offering Lilly Direct now.
Oh, that's good.
I was actually going to bring up Mochi Health next. Okay. And I know that we touched on it, but we haven't really talked about it yet. And there's been a lot going on there.
I want to say anybody. It's just
no shade.
We need to know. Yes.
No shade.
No shade. I respect
So-
mochi very much.
Yes, and we have a lot of friends who use mochi and a lot of people who have been very happy with it. And then there are also some people who are not right now.
Right.
They had Akita, Aqueta. It's actually pronounced Aquita.
I think it's
Aqueta?
Equita, 'cause, Equita.
Aquita.
Yeah,
Aquita.
Yeah,
Oh, like
Akita is the
equity.
dog. so that
Interesting.
It's a
No, Akita is a dog. It's a dog breed. So
Akita.
It is a cute dog. Yes.
they are cute.
The Japanese.
I think Equita is right. I think you're right.
It's Equita.
So they're 503. They're a 503A pharmacy that was closed recently because they were not safe. They were not following procedure like they were supposed to. Interestingly enough, Lee went there before this really, I think, at least to me, broke. And he was just nearby. So he checked it out. And the building is down to the drywall, like empty. There is nothing there. But building up to this, I'm all over Reddit and people are like talking about how they're not getting support back. They're not getting refunded. They're not getting their medication. There's a lot of complaints going out. And at the same time, there are a lot of people defending them saying, I've never had a problem. I really like it. I also spoke to one person who uses mochi and they said they think, I don't know that this is true. I'm just quoting.
Yeah.
That one of the manufacturers put a person or several people in some of these forums to complain to make people concerned. So they think that it's
people do that.
People can do that. Yeah. I mean, you could pay people to do just about anything. So that was one person's concern. But I think that the larger part of the problem is just that a lot of people have not been feeling like there is a whole lot of transparency with what's going on with Aquita.
I think Equita. I think it's Equita. I think Equita.
Equity. Yeah, I think I remember hearing that too.
And then with this medication, with this compound pharmacy closing, a lot of people have been saying that they're concerned about whether that medication was safe to use because they still have medication from this pharmacy. And I guess Mochi tested it, but they didn't use third-party testing, which just led to more, this isn't transparent. And it's just been going in a circle. There's a whole lot of this going around.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like that's the narrative. And the problem is when something like this happens, instead of seeing it as hey, we had the checks and balance, right, to catch this and fix this and adjust, right? It immediately goes to all compounds are bad, and it gives sort of weight to the Obesity Action Coalition's letter and request, right? Because this is what people hear. And so when the narrative is constantly fed, right, then that's what people think. And I don't think people understand how many people are getting these medications research grade from peptide companies online without a prescription, without doctor oversight, without medical advice, nothing. Like they would take B12 over the counter. Like that's how a lot of people are getting their medicine because that's all they can afford, And at least with compound, it was semi-affordable. I mean, I say that, but I couldn't afford it, I think that it
was like at least lower than the 500 that Lilly charges for their Lilly Direct. I think
even
I was on compound, it was about 300.
And even then, right? Like even what Lilly Direct was charging, right? You still could only get up to 5 milligrams. Like it wasn't until recently, that you could get up to 10 milligrams. I still don't get why. I haven't heard Dave's conspiracy theory about it, but he and I usually do it of why they wouldn't just give us 12, 5, and 15. I don't know if they just know the sticker price is going to be ridiculous and we're all be like, no, but I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people saying a lot of things. It's not like all of us don't recognize that ultimately none of us want to take compound. Like, that's what I don't think that anybody gets. Like, if you just, sorry, Dad, fucking make this medication that is changing and saving our lives affordable, none of us will take fucking compound. None of us will take peptides. We'll just go to the fucking pharmacy. Sorry, Dad, and we'll get our medicine. But ultimately, they keep fucking with us. Sorry, Dad. And it's like, I don't know what else to do. Like, this was the options that we have.
Kim, this reminds me of when we were talking to Dr. Plumer, and she was saying, ultimately, unfortunately, with the situation is getting as bad as it is, someone's going to lose their life.
Yeah.
Doing research grade, just trying to keep their medicine.
Yeah.
And I think that will probably, and she said that, well, I'm putting words in her mouth. I don't remember exactly, but that might be the catalyst to make the powers that be say, maybe we should stop doing this.
Yeah. Maybe, Yeah.
And
I'm hoping like the more that we talk about it and kind of bring things out of the shadows, the more, attention that it will get and hopefully get some change. I think that we were in a good place last year where we had options for, PBM reform, but I think the government has other bigger fish to fry right now, and it's not really a focus. So what do we do in the meantime, right? And we can't let our voices get quiet, because the one thing I do know is
Bear said October.
Yeah.
October, people. That's all we got to do. Just October.
But his Kylo Ren voice. Does he not sound like Kylo Ren?
No, he sounds like he's got a ball of something in his mouth.
No.
Kylo
Ren's voice.
Yes, thank you, John.
Yeah.
That's so, just say like, what is it?
Luke, I am your father.
Kind of, but that's Kylo. Well, Kylo is
John.
Anyway.
Bear the extraordinaire.
Luke, I am your cousin.
All right, back to Amanda. Sorry, Amanda.
Oh, you are fine. So,
the plants.
Ironically, shortly after this letter was sent to the FDA from the OAC and organization companies, the APC pushed back, and they actually sent a letter to the FDA too.
Oh,
like next day.
Good.
And they said that their reports that the FDA are reporting are unverified. They're citing all of these safety concerns about misdosing, people being hospitalized, and having bad reactions. And the APC is saying, these are not verified. You have no actual data to back this up. This could have been research grade peptides. You don't know, and you can't say this is coming from compound medication.
Yeah.
And I just think that that is very interesting since we're talking about it right now. And I will say, I interviewed with Medivant, or I met with Medivant, which is a compound pharmacy. And they were talking about how they sell these super cool pre-filled syringes because people were misdosing. And they're glass. I had them send me a picture. They're glass and they're totally sealed. So they're super clean. Really interesting stuff. They're the only ones that do it. Anyway, they said that a university reached out and asked them specifically to make these special syringes because there were so many cases of misdosing. And I asked her, how much of that do you think is gray and research peptides?
Yeah.
Because these people are literally mixing it themselves.
Yeah.
And you have to know how many units to pull in, milliliters. Syringes have different measurements sometimes completely. And I will say I've been all over Reddit and I do see people misdosing.
Yes.
And sometimes way too much and going to the hospital.
Yes.
And it's not compound.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like for friends that don't know, like in terms of not getting it from a 503A or B pharmacy, they're going to send it to you to mix up at home. Right. And so like for people that don't know a lot about compound, just in case we have some people new that are listening that are looking to get started or don't know where to go and are kind of scared and worried, I get it. If you'll go back to our season 1, I can't remember the episode, but it's in season 1, and it's literally called What is Compound Semaglutide and Compound Tirzepatide? And we have 2 doctors on, as well as a compound pharmacist, and really dig into what it is, what it isn't, and what things to look for. Because again, as long as you have the information, I'm okay with the decision that you make. I just want you to have everything so that you can make the right one for you. That's it. Okay. All right, back to you. Sick of me.
Oh, you're okay. I just want to
No, I
say
face all day.
with all of this compound conversation, I, like the one and only Jen said, I am all about affordable access.
Yes.
That's what I'm loyal to. I'm not loyal to any compound pharmacies or the manufacturers. I'm loyal to the people who need access.
Yes.
And whatever that safely can be. If it's generics, like you said, if compound went away and they made manufacturer pricing actually affordable for most people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me as long as people can have their medication if they need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I usually work with several telehealths. Like people can, over the 2 years I've been doing this, like, because I want people to have options. I want people to have places to go where it's safe, that makes sense for them, for what journey that they're on. I think the problem is that we're getting to where there are less and less viable options. And it's because of this issue, right? And now we're back on this whole, if it's not covered by insurance. And I'm so thankful. I am thankful that there are cash pay prices to get around this PBM shit. But Dave brought up that they've launched it in India and they don't have PBMs. I don't have our system. And the cash pay price is what? It's
actually under 50.
Yeah.
It's like 40 something.
I can't.
Really?
Dollars. Yes.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. I literally went on to the internet right after that. And I was like, can I buy this from India? And how do I do it?
Seriously, though, I bet a lot of people did.
I bet a lot. Yeah.
Right away.
You're not the only one, Amanda.
You're not the only one.
You've accomplished this legally.
Yeah. Legally being the operative word. Yes.
I mean, people fly to other countries to have surgeries done. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, I know some people that are getting their medication from Canada and then some people that are getting it from the UK because it is cheaper over there. I think that our cash pay journey, your pay your own journey pricing actually is closer now.
Yeah.
But it's still too expensive.
Agreed.
$500 is like most of my bills every month.
Absolutely.
And it's like, do I give up my like all of my groceries for the month or my phone?
On Instagram said, can we ask questions? The answer is yes, you can. I have to go back and forth because of the way the stream works to check. But it says, if our online pharmacy says they can still filter Zepbound scripts, should I trust that? Or could that now be a money grab? And I think the answer is, in my opinion, and I love for everybody else to weigh in. In my opinion, you want to find out where they're getting it from. And if they're 503A or 503B, you should know that ultimately they're not supposed to be doing it unless it is a custom dose. But in terms of the legalities, that's kind of on them from what I understand. It's not necessarily on you. I think as long as you know that there's a possibility of that, you can choose what you want to do with your body, I think everything with compound and everything with pharma and everything with doctors is a money grab, period. That's the world that we live in. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is that way. So I think if you know that going in and you have realistic expectations, then you can decide. But that is what it is for now. I do think also, from my understanding, in terms of enforcement, right, that won't necessarily start, if it does start, until the case has been decided, right? Whichever one comes, right? I think that's what was said, right? So that's all legalities and stuff that they have to handle and battles that they want to fight, right? So I think if you find someone that you feel good about, it's coming from an FDA regulated pharmacy like 503A or 503B, and you're like, hey, I want to keep filling my script, then that's a decision and a risk. Everything's going to be risk management, right? Risk versus the reward of what you want to do and what your experience has been like. So use all of those data points to understand. But what, Bear?
Sorry, I was trying to say also talk to the doctor and make sure that you guys are talking about what is being added to that drug.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
If you don't know,
just say
Bear has a synthesizer thing that he got for Christmas.
John, just say Ray. Say Ray. Together we can rule the galaxy in your Kylo Ren.
Ray, together we can rule the galaxy.
You got to say it how Kylo Ren. It's fast. You know, like we can rule the galaxy. He didn't talk slow like.
Ray, we can rule the galaxy together.
Something like that, yeah.
I appreciate the comic relief, as my son would say.
Yeah, but either way it goes, when you're getting it from the 503A or 503B,
On talk normal so we can understand it's important.
Sorry. Okay. So, like I was trying to say, if you're going to get it from the 503A or 503B, talk to them about what's being added to it and talk to your doctor in regards to that custom dose. The one thing that everybody needs to remember when it comes to these compound pharmacies is that's what they were created for. Actually, compounds have always been around. That's what your pharmacy used to be. Your pharmacist used to make every drug that you ate. So, I mean, not that you ate, but that you took. So that's what they used to be. But so at the end of the day, if you're gonna get one from a 503A or 503B, find out what they're adding, talk to your doctor about it, maybe say that you have nausea from it and you need something added to it that you can take at one time because you have skin sensitivity. It's all about the wording and what you're doing to justify that custom script.
But now would be a very good time to have the conversation with your doctor
most definitely
about any of those things, to possibly do anything custom for yourself and to get that, I hate to say this, but on the record, like
get it on the record.
Yeah.
Also, I caught the tail end of Dave's interview with the OFA.
Ooh, that's a good
suggest
tea.
we
Ooh.
all should
Okay.
go listen to it. What?
What was it about? Tell us about it.
I caught the very tail end of it. It was what Amanda was speaking of earlier, the McKenna Pharmacy. That's when I turned it on, and I was driving home from my workout, and I remember that's why that drug was compounded, was because it was just atrocious. It was it was exorbitant.
Yes.
Egregious. Yes. So that was the tail end of it. So I would just recommend, and if you're on this live right now, make your next listen to Dave and his interview with the CEO of the OFA.
Yeah. Absolutely. Excellent. Do not forget.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I started. I'm on I got the first like 10 minutes in, and that's it. That's where I'm at so far. But I think he also put it on TikTok. So if you're doing that TikTok, wherever you follow Dave, he's trying to provide as much access to that as possible. Like the knowledge is your friend, guys. Like in this, God, I hate the fact that I said that in this game, because that's what it is, right?
It is.
And I think that you can win the game if you just know the rules, But the problem is like with a compound and everything, and this is why we did that episode 2 years ago or 18 months ago, or whatever it's been now, is because we were all trying to play this game and none of us knew the fucking rules. Sorry, Dad. And that's the problem, right? Is they're making up all the rules and we all just have to figure it out. So that's what, we're Dave, myself, like other people, Amanda, we're all trying to kind of be the Rosetta Stone so that we can figure out what's going on and be able to take control of our health again. Because the way it is now, and my guess is that the first like rebuttal that someone would say to, what is the medicine called? McKenna? Is that what we said it's called? Right.
McKenna.
Is, oh, well, that was because we were saving lives.
Oh, but you know what? Now made me think of this. Also, I do remember from this interview during COVID. During COVID, they ran out of saline. Compound pharmacies were making saline solution for hospitals. Ibuprofen, there was a shortage of ibuprofen. Children's Tylenol. There were things that they step in and make when they're not available, especially during serious pandemics. So
I mean,
I was questioning like what's
I'm wondering if compound pharmacies got involved when everything happened in Asheville, right? Because like there was a huge shortage.
They were talking about like during when there's shortages, when there's a natural disaster. Gotta go back and listen to this interview.
I know. Everybody go listen to the interview that Dave got. It's awesome. Yes. All right, enough of me. Talk to Amanda. What else you got?
There were some studies that GLP-1s could benefit transplant patients. I haven't read up enough on it yet, but I find that very interesting.
Like using it or like
kidney transplants?
Oh, well, that doesn't shock me. Interesting. Ooh.
I mean, we're gonna be
I wonder if
seeing
liver.
new approvals come out
Yeah.
forever. I'm so sure. And we'll see new GLP-1s forever. And there was one person that was like, "Oh, just wait. Eli Lilly will drop their prices more." But I'm thinking,
Yeah. When,
I
though?
don't know. They
When?
might,
Yeah.
but they also might not. There are still things that are very expensive,
Oh my
and the
gosh,
prices
yeah.
don't come down, right?
What's that
Yeah.
one drug that just went to a generic and it's just as expensive as the original? Liraglutide?
Liraglutide.
Exactly, that's what I
That's
was
a GLP-1.
thinking.
Yeah.
The other GLP-1s are
Yeah.
no longer like, they're not nearly as good as the newest ones. Like Dr. Lindsay Ogle said, name drop.
Name drop. We love her.
Yep.
Every new GLP-1 is like a new iPhone every year. Every year you wanna get an upgrade, every year it's better than the last one.
Yeah.
And liraglutide is no longer one of the latest generations.
No.
It is not the one that you wanna go after,
Still
and
$400,
it's
right?
still crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I don't know if it depends on dosage,
and
but I think it was
not covered by my
$200.
insurance.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Like, you can't even cover the generic, you know? Like, good God, but I think that's why, but I mean, if people have to do that, they will, right? And like we've been talking on Moments with Mom. So if you guys know, for paid members, we have Moments with Mom where my mom and I talk about this whole journey for her and the journey we've had together. And she lost access to Ozempic. Medicare quit paying for it for her, and so what she's doing is her doctor is prescribing it to a pharmacy, I believe in the UK. I can't remember if it's the UK or Canada, to be honest. And then they ship it to her. And my mom has lost most of her weight, and so she's on 5 milligrams. So she's paying $500 for a 15 quickie pen for a 15 milligram quickie pen, and under the doctor's care, an obesity specialist dosing that quickie pen, right? So that she can pay $500 and make that stretch out for basically 3 months, right? So there are ways to do this. Not everybody knows about that or knows how to do it, and I think that's hopefully what we'll see next, are more doctors being like, "Hey, I've got this connection. Let's make it work." Because we're gonna have to find we're gonna have to find ways around it. And it's bullshit that we do. Sorry, Dad, but it is. And I think that's why we have to continue to stay connected and have conversations just like this. Like, no one's trying to throw any shade or say one telehealth is better than the other, or anything like that. As a matter of fact, do you want to say to every telehealth I ever talk to, stop trying to compete. You cannot serve 40% of America. You can't, right? Stop. Just make something great and market that, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. You have to find the right program and the right product, service, whatever it is that's right for you as a patient that's sick that needs care. And what's best for your lifestyle and what works for you and for your wallet. So that's the thing, is like, we're not trying to like say anything bad about anybody. Like, ultimately there are a lot of options out there. I think there are still good quality options too, but I do think it's dwindling. And so we're going to keep talking about it. We'll keep bringing stuff that's in the news here. And Amanda, our correspondent, will make sure to tell us those things so that we're aware of them and can make smart decisions. Okay. That's what I want you to do. It's a decision that's informed. Okay. Well, you got anything else?
Just what we are doing with
Yeah.
the GLP-1 Collective.
That's right. Let's do it.
So we just met with Needy Meds, with the president for Needy Meds. They are a nonprofit organization that connects people to organizations that help them pay for their medications.
Lovely.
And these are for chronic diseases.
Mhm.
They are super happy to collaborate, and they have a card that helps people pay for medications. It's not yet helping with GLP-1s, but they are working on it. And we're working on it. So we are trying to find a way to help people pay for their medications. And these people were fantastic and gave us a ton of resources that can help with that. So they are giving us a co-branded card for medications in general. I'm going to do a little deep dive on it and see if maybe we can get something like liraglutide at least covered. Something. I mean, honestly, I would take liraglutide
I have taken
or
it. That's the
any
first
other.
one I was on. I can honestly say, as someone that was on that, I did poop a lot. But sorry, like, listen, this is GLP talk, okay? Like, we talk about poop here, okay? But like, I did take liraglutide. It was the first one that I took because I started when all the shortages were awful, and I did take it. And honestly, it was the first time I experienced no food noise. Now I had to get further down, like on the dose, before I really had like a good effect of that. But I did lose weight. Was it tons of weight and scads of weight? No. But did I lose weight? Did the food noise calm? Was I able to move? Did it increase or decrease my inflammation? Yes. And if I could get nothing, I would do that for sure. And it was sort of sucky because you have to do it every day. But honestly, I had never done every week, so I didn't really know any better. And when I was using liraglutide also and doing it every day, the one thing that's kind of crappy when you go up and dose on one of the weekly meds is if it's too much for you, you stuck with that decision, right? For a
Yeah,
week,
you're right. You're right.
But if you go up on the other one and it's too much for you, you can change it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can kind of figure out like what's best for times of injection and all of that. Like, so it's not a bad decision at all. Like it really isn't.
Yeah. I agree 100%. If there were no option, I'd be going for that one too. And I'm not necessarily dogging on it, but
Yeah.
everybody wants the latest iPhone
Of
generation.
course. Yeah, everybody wants the latest iPhone. Yeah.
Unless you're a
So
Samsung user.
that's cute. So they do
That's
have
my
a
Android friend.
calculator.
What now?
I'll be going Google next. I'm not gonna lie. My husband's getting me onto Pixel, so I will be moving away from iPhones.
That still is kind of like still the new next thing. So I get it. I
Still
was
the
just
new
being
next,
silly.
yeah.
I was
But
just
then
being
you can't
silly.
do this if you don't have an iPhone. How you friends that are listening on Apple? I'm giving them all the fireworks and stuff. What will we do if you didn't have it? Samsung. See, there are many. All of my besties actually are not on Mac or Apple, which is very confusing for our texting.
I am very still hooked on this flip thing because it's very easy and I don't need a tripod. I'm hooked. That's.
But anyway,
right here, iPhone's going to come out with a flip anyway. So
tech aside.
The best phone is the
What about
iPhone.
October, Amanda? Do you have any news about that? Like, is there any further along with that?
We are still planning on going to Washington, D.C. in October, and the list of people that are planning on joining us is starting to grow.
Yay.
I need to work on a newsletter so that I can keep people up to date and a dedicated space. So I was trying to get people into Slack so that we could organize in a more professional atmosphere.
Sure.
Our nonprofit uses a Slack now for board discussions and volunteers, but there's a 25-person cap.
Sure.
And it would make me very sad if we went to Washington with only 25 people.
No, the goal is to be loud. I mean, listen, I'll take quality over quantity, but I think that, like, and people that are willing to talk and know about it and are willing to come forward, like, I'll take it. Still 25 people is a lot of people if you look at it, but yeah, I mean, it really is. But I think that there'll be more. And I think as it gets closer, you'll have people
Agreed.
commit more, especially that are local or in drivable distance. At least that's what the events and stuff that we've done. That's what we found is that like people be like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like there'll be a burst right at the end. So that's what I think, because people are just like, October, that's far. But what people don't understand is in terms of event planning, you have to start like a long time ago,
It's like planning a wedding.
So true. It's so true. I'm not going to lie. It is daunting. Even the application to go in October, the application just to petition in the streets or at the mall, the National Mall, which is where we want to go, you have to have like how many of every single thing you're going to have. Like, how many signs will you have? Will you have chairs? How many chairs? Will you have food? How many foods? Will there be toilets? Will you have security? Will you be paying any people for this? Like, you have to have every single thing mapped out. So I'm just trying to make sure that I do it carefully and not rush.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
Do it sloppy. I want it to be, we go, we know what we're doing, we do it well.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there in this community that's done stuff like that before, we would be most appreciative.
Yeah.
If we reached out
we
to
will have a megaphone.
Professional event planners out there.
No megaphone. All right,
yep,
man.
We will have a megaphone and a voice changer.
Yeah. Okay, John.
Yep. Just for Bear.
Yep, just for Bear. Megaphone and a voice changer for Bear so that we can have all the sound effects. If we're going to do this, we got to do it right. Listen, we want attention. We want them to stand up and notice. We want MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. We want all them people with a camera on us standing out there talking about the fact that we need this medication affordable and that this affects people in more ways than one. And the only way to do that is to be loud and noticeable.
Well,
Like,
and
go ahead, Amanda, you go.
this is what my thought process has been since the beginning too, and the reason why I started the petition, because there was not centralized activity. Like you said, there has been no leader, and everyone has been out there pushing this movement forward individually, like freaking rock stars, like you, all of you. Thank you so much for what you've done. You are the reason why we are where we are now. And we desperately need to bring all of those voices together. And I mean, first of all, there's a crap ton of people in the shadows taking this medication in secret still because of stigma, because of judgment. And we're doing the best that we can to put that out.
Do you see Spoonie?
Oh, I love that.
We're just saying,
I love
like when he's not
Spoonie.
here.
Yeah.
Love that. Volunteers in the house.
Bring Spoonie
Yes,
up.
God, I will take any volunteers. Anybody out there?
Anybody.
But
Bueller.
if it's Spoonie, even better.
I think that's great, Amanda. I think what you said is perfect. Like we've all been talking, and it's kind of been like disparate voices, right? But finding a way, like under your GLP-1 Collective, to unify and have a single message and a single goal, and it's very, very clear. I think that's amazing that you're doing that, and I'm so glad that you're here and that we get to be a part of what you're doing next, because that's what it's about. I think if you think about it, like the way that things have been. With all of this, I mean, two years ago, we were the side of TikTok that like everybody was following, but wanted to pretend like they weren't really the dark, dirty side. And then literally a month ago, they were talking about compound on the fucking Super Bowl. So like we have come really, really far in 2 years. And now that we're all together and we have someone like you, like leading the way here, we think we can do next. Like think we're going to be in another year, you know?
I don't want to say, I feel like that sounds like there's a lot of hubris on my part, and I don't feel that I am leading by any means our large movement, because there are a ton of leaders,
many leaders
like yourselves all coming together. I might be a leader, but I am not the leader. We are all together. And there are so many people out there on the news who are advocating on different news sites and who've been talking about this for months. And if we could just get loud enough to find them and then all get together, we will be so unstoppable.
Yes.
And it was public pressure that caused the FDA to allow compounding for McKenna and the EpiPen. Public pressure and the support of healthcare providers for the public that caused them to allow it just because of affordability.
Yeah.
So it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I love it.
And you're the tip of the spear, Amanda. That's what it is. The GLP-1 Collective is the tip of the spear.
It is.
The nonprofit.
It's gonna push us through.
I get it. I'm like that.
The nonprofit.
Yeah.
It is an organization for the people. It is a grassroots organization filled with passion, literally just for the people who need access.
Yes. It is the gray that we need.
And that's why you're the tip of the spear.
Yes. All right.
She's always talking about it.
Before we go, I know Kat had an article that she read that she wanted to talk about for tea that was important to her. And I agree. So let's
roll some beans first.
Beans real quick, you think?
Should we? Do we need? Oh, we already did.
We've already done the second beans. We're good until we wrap up.
Beans are done. Beans are good. We'll do beans at the end.
Magical fruit.
Beans are magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The better you feel. So let's have beans for every meal.
I want to play my bumper or not my, yeah. Y'all.
Fluffy fitness with
That
Kat.
picture is so different. That was
So
from
different, Kat.
that was some headshots I had done like 10 years ago.
Yeah, we got to get you a new fluffy fitness thing.
There is, we have one, but that's just amazing. But the music is so dramatic. Obviously, I don't have anything fitness wise to do or video. I came across this article just yesterday from Essence. Let's see if wonder if I could share it with you all. I'm just going to go over it.
They
So it
can't.
was an op-ed.
Stupid, but they can't. We'll put it in the show notes. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, well, it was an op-ed, and the title of it is "You Shouldn't Have to Be Skinny to Have a Voice in Health and Wellness," and I feel like that's definitely all of us, right? So, from this is written in the perspective of a nutritionist, registered dietitian. Can you guys see me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We can see it. I wish I could put it in my background. I want to green screen it. But in any case, this article, I'm just going to just kick it off. So when we think of dietitians, nutritionists, a lot of people, there's that misconception that everybody has to be slim.
Yes.
And what this article is saying that one, that's not all of us. And then two, a lot of people don't get into the field of, let's say, a registered dietitian, nutritionists into fitness because they don't feel like they are slim enough. And then there is a higher pressure when you are in the fitness industry to be slim. And in this respect as well, within the percentage of registered dietitians, there's also a very, very low number of Black dietitians, and even smaller percentage are the curvy or plus size Black women, like the woman that wrote this article. Andrea Mathis is her name. So it goes on with the harmful expectations, the stereotypes in the field of dietetics. You must show up a certain way based on the stereotypes that healthy always equals skinny or fit. So I always say fit has no size. That's definitely how I've lived in a much larger body into my smaller plus size body. Fit has no size. When I was 320 pounds, I was still working out. I was still lifting my weights. It was harder, but I still was into fitness, and I truly believe sometimes, maybe I did not select or choose that role of coach. I would find myself actually, let's say, falling back on offering advice or falling back on expertise because of my size.
Yeah.
So, it's true. So I feel like we all of us here on the plus sides definitely encompass that fitness is not a size. She goes on to say the belief that someone's supposed to be slim is not only false but deeply harmful. It recreates this cycle of toxic exclusion, discredits highly skilled, passionate professionals. So it's just like what I was saying. I'm passionate about it, but I felt like I didn't fit that stereotypical image of health.
Yeah.
It alienates people in larger bodies who seek guidance but don't feel represented or respected. That's a big thing for me. To find somebody within the same body size as me, that is profound. I do identify. I follow a lot of plus size fitness influencers. Just for that reason, I see you need someone that you see yourself in to model after. And it perpetuates the harmful narrative that thin equals healthy. We all know that's not the case.
No.
Fat equals unhealthy, ignoring the complex reality of health and well-being.
Yeah.
So just think about it. I know that Kim and I have had these conversations lately.
Yeah.
Because I'm plus size. How serious can someone take me? But it's true. You have something to offer. Even if, like, say, if you're embodied positivity versus nutrition, diet, it all rolls into
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
So I think you should go to Essence, essence.com.
That's cool. Well, when I come back to update the thing, we'll put the link so people
Yeah.
can check them out.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, Kat. I mean, I'm with you. I think sort of accidentally doing this, I think both kind of became like health and wellness influencers, right?
Another thing, yes.
Yeah.
You don't think
And
you are because we're obese, right? We
yeah.
were obese, and
But are
then
we less
we
worried
are. Yeah,
because
this
we're still
is
in big bodies when we
yeah.
know the things that we know, we're helping people in the same things in the way that we are and being vulnerable. Like I talk about how I've had weight gain on this medicine, and so do you.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
does that mean that because I've gained weight on this medicine, I can no longer talk about the benefits of this medicine? Like, should I not be saying it because I've gained weight? Like that, like sort of, I think like imposter syndrome, like happens from like our perspective
Yeah.
as creators. But I think that something to just like for everyone to think about is like, and I had someone comment and who loves the podcast and follows the podcast and said, I don't know, like I don't think I can buy that obesity is a disease, and I don't I'm like, well, science says, but and they also said like I don't know if I can I don't think I can think that health exists at every size, but it does. And I think that's because we continue to think that health is just the external piece of you, right? Like the size
Exactly.
clothes that you wear can be a piece of your health, but you may have blood work that's better than anybody else's, but still be 300 pounds, So I
Right.
think that those things are important. And I think that this goes back to what you and I've talked about a lot on this journey, is that we have to quit looking at people and deciding if they're worthy of care or medicine or treatment, right?
Mhm.
And I think that as these medicines come in, they're challenging all of those things, and that's important. That's what we talk about. And so we do represent that because ultimately, most people on average are not going to lose 100 pounds on this medicine, or they will lose 100 pounds and on this medicine right now at
Mhm.
this point in our
Mhm.
life, the one that we have, right? And they will look like they will be still in bigger bodies, or they'll be much smaller than they were, right? But that's most people. Like the average for Zepbound was 55 pounds over 3 years. So I think that people being
You
able
beat
to see
we
us is
beat
more
the
important
average,
than
right? Yeah.
ever,
So you gotta give yourself a pat on the back. Like you beat the average that with the 55 pounds
So did you.
over the year. Yeah, we beat, as I said, we
Yes.
beat the
Yeah.
average.
We did. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like this article, like it just made me feel like hurrah! Like
Yeah.
we are really challenging the stereotype just by doing this work, just this podcast where it's becoming like a health and wellness podcast, not
Yes.
just for obesity medicine. But at the same time, whatever size body you're in, that's fitness at every level. And then
Yes.
with not even taken to effect or taken to account,
Yeah.
there's so much disordered eating in the fitness community.
Yes.
Um, there was Shalene Johnson. She was
Mm.
a fitness. I wouldn't call her an influencer. Like she had a serious like fitness programs. Like
Yeah.
that's where she made her bones, right? I remember listening to one of her podcasts because I had all of Shalene Johnson's workout. I did Turbo Fire and Turbo Kick, and I had them all. Um, she said when she was on, I think her third or fourth program with Beachbody, she's already like 5'2", 110 pounds. They told her she had to lose more weight. So she struggled with her, like this is what made her sort of like walk away from fitness, and now she does business coaching.
Mhm.
Is she did not want to crash diet or starve, so she would just work out more. And she said it was the most exhausted time of my life. I'm
Mm.
working out 2 to 3 times a day, just trying to push down, and everybody is praising you
Yeah.
for looking so good. And she said, I'm tired. Do you not see the bags under my eyes? I'm exhausted. But you're praising me for losing these, I'm overtaxing my body, but that's par for the course in a lot
Mhm.
of in fitness sometimes.
Yeah.
So
That's so
so
true,
the
Kat.
notion, or
Yeah.
even like bodybuilders,
Yeah.
like if you, they're
Well,
cutting,
James talks about it a
they're
lot,
getting
right?
so, yeah, they're getting
Yeah.
so lean. Um, they're getting so what is it? I can't think of the influencer, but he said something like, "I got dick skin lean."
Gross. Oh, I hope my dad didn't hear me.
Let me go find him because I have his account.
Okay.
But it's not like that's just you know that you're eating in a way and you're trained in such a way. It's just not really like
Like,
every
is it
day
health?
sort of
Like,
natural
is
thing.
it? Yeah.
And they're looking at you like, hey, you're so healthy.
Yeah.
My period stopped, or it's just silly. Yeah, like so.
So true. Yeah,
But
Kat, and this is probably a really good way for us to wrap things up. Thanks so much, everybody, for your time tonight.
it was
So,
probably
I went to
you know
Kat.
what skin, wasn't it? Yeah, it was that.
Yeah. I went to Kat and I was like, Kat, like I've gained 10 pounds and I've hit perimenopause and I've gained 10 pounds and I feel like, okay, all right, I need to look and see what I'm doing. Like, what's going on? And am I eating more? No. Am I moving less? Yes. And am I eating the right, like nutrition? When I say right, I mean like most nutritious things for my body. No, not, I want it to be more that I'm doing that most of the time and the other things, not so much. And so I'm adjusting those things, but she was like, like, let's do some things. And I was like, okay, like, why don't you teach me? Because ultimately, what do? I walk, right? I resistance bands, like that's it. You know what I mean? And she was like, all right. So we started a whole channel over on Plus Size on YouTube. And Kat and I are going to exercise together. Right now we're calling it, because I don't know, because I start a new job soon, but Kat and I are calling it Wednesday.
Wow. Workout Wednesdays.
Wow. Yeah. Well, Workout Wednesdays. And so
Wow.
Workout Wednesdays, and we're doing things like, well, you can explain it better than I can, Kat. What are the things that we're doing?
I am
It's fine.
introducing Kim to the most like the introductory fitness. You don't have to like what we do. I loathe doing ab floor work.
Sure.
So like what we did today was just standing abs, and it helps like if you have a knee injury, back injury. But speaking of, like, say that article, you want to keep muscle in your core and in your back to hold your body up and reduce injury as we age. It's not just to be vain and look good. Like,
yeah,
you need to add some muscle.
Yeah.
We don't have to be, what, skin thin.
No, we don't.
I feel like that term really threw everybody off. He said that though. I was like, oh my gosh,
that's funny.
That's
but I get it. I've seen it. Like I know what you're talking about. So, but guys, thank you so much for hanging with us. We're gonna roll some bean
you guys hear me
footage.
still?
Yeah, I can see you right here. Oh, we lost her. She totally froze. Okay, that's cool. Or did I freeze? Is it me?
No, I think she froze.
Okay, all right. That's
there it is.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, you're back. Okay, good. Okay. We're gonna roll bean footage and close out. But guys, I'm gonna ask you to do some things because Dave always says, Kim, you gotta ask. I'm gonna ask you to make sure that you're following us on YouTube because this is important. I've asked that you're following us on the social media areas, like on IG and TikTok. I know I have 8 million TikTok accounts, but it is what it is. I'm going to ask that you become a member because it will continue to help us do our work, especially when we're going to go places like to Washington to advocate. So that's what we're looking for. Okay. So please help if you can. And here's the thing. If you can't be a member, that's okay. Just engage. That's what we need for you to move the content because you are the movement. So we love you very much. Will, that's great news.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta talk to you.
Close the night out.
I gotta talk to you about next month, Will. Yeah. Yay!
Yes. Oh, I can't wait. That'll be a great story to see that transition. I love that.
We want an episode just with
Will came on our show on a live a couple months ago when he first started on Wegovy, I think. So now you got approved for Zepbound. Ooh, next month. I smell a live update. I like it.
I do.
I like it. All right, cool. All right, we'll roll bean footage. Thanks so much for your time tonight. I know we had a lot of tea and we had a lot of this is a very I want to say tumultuous, but I don't think it's the right word. Time right now, like volatile, like with what's going on with compound and with what we want and access towards. So I really appreciate you guys giving us your time tonight. I love you to bits. And we're going to roll the bean footage. Please watch it. And if you need care, there's a link tree and you can go to wherever you want to go that works for you. All right.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much, Spoonie, for coming on and telling us your story. I know
Spoonie,
thank you.
Thank you, Spoonie.
We love you. Thank you.
Okay.
Want the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ro now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper, with results you can see faster. Lose 15% of your weight with the formula from Eli Lilly that hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and nausea. Weight loss faster, confidence higher, price cheaper. See if you qualify at ro.co/TV.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together, because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.